Hello everybody, it's Kate from the Library of Whispers, and today I thought we'd take a look at these old newspapers. I've had them for a long time. I can't actually remember where I got them from. I'm not even sure they're actually real. What I mean by that is certainly the Police Gazette was a real newspaper in the 19th century, but I don't know whether these are actually facsimiles or they were actually reproduced in. This one is May 20th, 1897. Certainly this one here, this says, so this isn't real, this is a copy. This says poster supplement to the best from the Police Gazette, and it's a kind of, it's a quite shiny modern paper. So, and some of the bits have been cut out, which is a shame. I don't know why. Anyway, so I thought some nice paper sounds. We'll have a look through these. The Police Gazette is or was a particularly controversial newspaper of the time. It presented the news in a very sensationalist way. It calls itself the leading illustrated journal of the world. So it's the National Police Gazette. Oh, I see. The leading illustrated sporting journal of the world. Is that what that means? Let's have a look anyway. This bit, some bits. Sorry, we had a storm this morning, and then this afternoon it's very sunny, and so I've had to close the blinds because the sunlight was coming in and obscuring the paper. So let's see what this says. The Police Gazette is the world's sporting authority. And this is a picture. Let's see, I don't know whether I can get the whole thing in the shot, but so the bottom says, the old man spoiled the fun. The elderly father of a flock of pretty Scotch girls makes it warm for two of their suitors. So these ladies are looking out the window, and this one is holding her hand out and he's about to kiss her hand, and this lady is handing a note to this gentleman, and the elderly father, I guess this is, with a wooden stick or carsh in his hand, is just about to come round the corner and give them a good beating. I don't know whether there's a story inside, might be. So, I think what we'll do is just have let's listen to some of the paper sounds first, and then we can have a read through some of the articles. These are the Sisters Lamara. The Sisters Lamara, two English girls who have earned fame as variety artists in both hemispheres. And This is Mr. Sam Saunders, a well-known Belfast sporting man and managing director of the New City Club. And here is Mr. Joe Vickers, an old-time pugilist, boxer, and well-known publican and sportsman of Coventry. And this illustration here, she says she preferred him bald to please his skittish sweetheart. A young and good-looking Cornish youth shaves off his raven locks and presumably presents them in a bag for her. This picture is an elopement upset, just as the pair were seated in the Northern Pullman Express, that's the train carriage. Stern Mama intervened and spoiled the game. So this is the Stern Mama, this is the daughter, and obviously this is her fiancé who she was going to elope with, and the mother says no. And this one is Choinsky and Denver, Ed Smith, as they appeared at the Broadway Athletic Club, New York, in a 20-round contest on May 10th. And this is Ed Smith. And this is Joe Choinsky. And this is horse racing, Charles Ward. And this says the Newmarket Stakes, ridden by Charles Ward, Mr. Gubbins' Derby favourite, easily won last week's big race. And this illustration, her aim was a good one, at least so thought a modern peeping Tom of Coventry who tried to spy into a girl's boudoir. This is the girl, this is the boudoir, and this is the girl peeping Tom. Wow, she really does get him in the face. And this one is the Wopses. The Wopses made them dance. 3 young ladies of Leicester met with anything but a pleasant adventure in a timber yard. What on earth is going on here? Can't really work it out. I don't know. Oh, that's a shame. A piece has been cut out. But it says a shampoo with champagne. The Johnny was much too fresh, so the girls cooled his head with some of his own wine. So they poured his wine on his head. So let's have a read of some of this properly. Let's read this one. So, says, fatal fight in Wales. A collier lad dies after a 30-round battle. And Dick Burge and Tom Causa, latest concerning the combatants for the last big mill of the season. So where is that? Top spot. Okay. Oh, so this is all about fighting. Let's have a look at this. A fatal mill in Wales. One of those petty fights between collier boys, which are of such frequent occurrences in South Wales, came to a sad and fatal termination on Sunday week near Ferndale, Rhondda Valley. Two lads named John Thomas and Ed A. Collett, aged respectively 19 and 18, agreed to settle a small dispute by fighting with naked fists on the mountain for £1 a side. Shortly after 5 o'clock in the morning, the two combatants, with their respective supporters, went to the spot agreed upon, and seconds having been chosen, the men set to work in a determined manner. The fighting was heavy on both sides, and during the first 8 or 10 rounds, the lads were equally game and able to stand plenty of punishment. From then to the 15th round, Collett forced the work and had a slight advantage, but the pace was too much, and Thomas, who had evidently been keeping to reserve, then got to work in an effectual manner. At the 23rd round, Collett was virtually beaten, but with indomitable and irresponsible determination, he persisted in going on with the fight. It was all over, bar the shouting, but the youngster refused emphatically to give way. Thomas, his opponent, was unable to knock him out, and even he decided to finish the fight, but Collett declined. Remonstrance being useless, they continued to slog away, and soon after the 13th round was commenced, Thomas put in some swingers, and his opponent being too weak to retaliate, the end came. The party broke up immediately, but owing to the exhausted state which Collett was in, a few of his admirers carried him to a neighbouring house, where the poor fellow expired almost 7 o'clock. No medical aid having been procured. Later in the day, Thomas was arrested, together with David Jones, W. Watkins, D. Parcel, W. J. Ware, and Matthews and B. Llewellyn of Ferndale. On Tuesday, an inquest was held, and a verdict of manslaughter was returned. On the following day, Thomas was committed for trial. So, a lot of this seems to be about sport. although it does say that, I suppose. Let's have a look at this. Glasgow Barmaids compete for popularity and our gold bracelet. Conditions of a contest for one of the handsome prizes ever given to a lady. Now the sun's gone in and it's getting dark. Hold on. Let's make that a bit lighter. Okay. In deference to the wishes of several of the competitors, I have decided not to announce the date of the poll each week. So far as the Glasgow competition is concerned, but to content myself with giving the result as to the expiration of the specified period of time. The name of the winner will appear in our next issue. The amended conditions of competition now read as follows. 1. The prize, a beautiful gold bracelet of special design, will be presented to the lady who shall be adjudged by the public to be the most popular barmaid in a given town. The competition will be decided by votes, which must be registered on the coupon, which is hereby provided for the purpose. One coupon represents one vote. Any person may send in as many coupons as he or she pleases for one or more ladies. The name of the lady to whom the vote is given and the name of the hotel or public house at which she is engaged must be clearly written in ink on the allotted space. The name and address of the sender of the coupon must also be given. With regard to the latter stipulation, the greatest secrecy will be observed, but we require some guarantee of good faith. Each competition will last 1 month. The state of the poll will be declared each week until the day of the final announcement, when the name of the winner will be given. Our publishing day is Wednesday. All coupons must therefore reach us not later than by first post each previous Monday morning. They should be securely enclosed in stout envelopes and addressed to the competition editor, Police Gazette, 149 Fleet Street, London, EC. We guarantee that the bracelet is well worthy to adorn the most popular barmaid. It has been specially designed by the well-known Birmingham jewellers Messrs. Wood. Necessarily, each competition must be restricted to a certain town or district, but the fair what does that say? But the fair heaves of the larger cities need not fear, but that we will give their admirers a chance to raise them to the dignity of a place in our picture gallery of popular barmaids. North London will be next dealt with. The chief points for voters to remember are: coupons must be clearly filled in ink. No fictitious names and addresses will be allowed. All envelopes containing coupons must be addressed to the competition editor and must reach the office of the paper not later than by the first post each Monday morning. The following is the voting coupon. There we go. So, Police Gazette, Popular Barmaids Competition number 3, May 26th, 1897. I hereby declare that in my humble opinion and judgment, Miss Space of the Space in Glasgow is entitled to your prize of a gold bracelet as the most popular barmaid in this town. My name and address are as follows. Space. Now this, as I say, is on a sort of shinier paper, so it leads me to believe that this is probably a facsimile, even if the other one isn't. And here is a lady testing this very strong man's pecs. Are they the pecs? Or are they the pecs? No, they're the pecs, aren't they? Says strong man in private. At his own academy in West London, one of the best known professors exhibits his great muscles to a party of ladies and gentlemen. Seems to be, this is being cut out, but there seems to be a kind of theme in these illustrations of a gentleman being, so for example, he was too fresh. A typewriter brings a charge of assault against her. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, no, a typewriter. So she's a typist. Brings a charge of assault against her employer. So there seems to be a lot of this. Gentlemen groping ladies and them retaliating, or their mothers or fathers coming along and stopping the whole thing. It seems to be, this newspaper seems to be a little bit preoccupied by that kind of thing. Scandal. And this one here, this is at the seaside on the beach, and it says, should the sexes bathe together? ? This is the sort of scene we will be called upon to witness when mixed bathing becomes popular in England. Oh no, mixed bathing. And this one at the bottom. A lover of lady nicotine. A smart young American woman creates a good deal of amusement by smoking a cigarette in the Northern Pullman Express. Gosh. Scandal. And this one is the anti-vaccination crusade. To show their want of sympathy with the new movement, the young ladies at a London nursing school go through the process of inoculation. In a very sexy way, I have to say. This one is okay, I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. So this is the British Worker Official Strike News Bulletin, published by the General Council of the Trades Union Congress. This date of this one is Monday evening, May the 10th, 1926. Price £1. So this is going to be quite a different kind of newspaper. And this one underneath is, oh, this is an old one. Then this is called the Daily Universal Register, and it is number 1, Saturday, January 1st, 1785, price 2 pence, halfpenny. Printed logographically by His Majesty's patent. And there are adverts for Sixth Night by His Majesty's Company at the Theatre Royal in Drury Lane. This present Saturday will be performed a new comedy called The Natural Son. And it was also the ninth night for the author at the Theatre Royal, Covent Garden. And this presents this present Saturday, January 1st, I think, 1785, will be performed a new comedy called The Follies of a Day, or The Marriage of Figaro. And shipping advertisements for Nice, Genoa and Leghorn, with liberty to touch at one port in the Channel. The Nancy, Thomas White, commander. Burthen 160 tons, guns and men answerable, lying off the tower, will absolutely depart on Saturday the 8th instant. The said commander to be spoken with every morning at Sam's Coffee House near the Custom House, or at Will's Coffee House in Cornhill, and at the Exchange House on the French and Italian Walk, or William Elliard for the said commander, number 16, Savage Gardens. This one says, Mrs. King begs leave to acquire her friends. She opens her school at Chigwell in Essex on Monday the 10th of January for the education of young ladies, as has always been accustomed to watch and improve. The opening mind hopes to give satisfaction to those who trust her with so important a charge. Till the 10th of January, Mrs. King may be spoke with at Mr. Kerr's, a bit maker to His Majesty in the Mews, Charing Cross. N.B. wanted an apprentice and half-boarder. These are more difficult to read because the S's look like F's. see what's inside. Lots of writing. Okay, this is way too big to get into the camera. Okay, so I grabbed a couple of these. For sale by private contract, the good brigantine, young Sabine, a most extraordinary swift sailor, plantation built, burthen 140 tons, more or less. This must be a boat that's for sale then. For any trade that requires expedition, would make an excellent packet and is capable of mounting 16 guns. 6-pounders, is extraordinary well built, and is the only vessel that made a passage from Malaga this season, now lying at Pickle Herring Stairs. What a great name. Pickle Herring Stairs. Henry McLog, Commander. Another great name. For inventories and other particulars, please to apply to Thomas Hubert, broker. To let small lodgings genteelly furnished for a single gentleman in a house where there are no children, inquire at number 6, Staple Inn Buildings, Middle Row, Holborn. Wow. Another piece ripped out of here. Oops. I'm going to leave this one because I think I might rip it otherwise, although it has already been ripped. Well, I hope you enjoyed taking that short look through some of these historic newspapers, and as usual, this is Kate at the Library of Whispers, and thank you so much for popping by. I hope you'll join me again, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye. Hello everybody, this is Kate at the Library of Whispers. Bit of a treat for gum chewing and whisper lovers and newspaper page turning lovers, and a combination of all those things. I'm going to do a video today It's fantastic that we get to the last stages of the playoffs, contesting the last place in the division. We'll enjoy this evening because you have to enjoy getting to Wembley. It's the dream of every player, fan, clubs to go there. But we will get them prepared and we'll get them ready to go again to try and gain the next place out of the division. We'll enjoy it, but we'll very quickly go back to work next week. We're quite experienced at being in these kinds of environments. We've spoken about it and said, look, let's not let anything affect us. We'll just keep looking away at what we do as a group. The reason that we're here at this stage of the season is because we've got an awful lot right, so we'll just continue to do that. Match report on page 71. Let's have a look through. No royal visits this week. Although this is a sheriff's special ship tour. Sheriff Peter Watts with crew members from the MV Predator during his visit to the Liverpool Seafarers Centre. Look at this. Seal of approval. It's a seal for New Brighton's latest attraction. There is a friendly attraction at New Brighton's Vale Park in the form of a statue. Oh, I thought that was a real seal. What an idiot. It just shows you how many seals I've seen in real life. In the form of a statue commemorating a cute maritime creature. Betty the seal was put in pride of place this week by local community arts champions Carl and Rose Leckie and Vale Park volunteers. Within minutes of her arrival, Betty was surrounded by fans of all ages and is sure to be a big draw for seal selfies, just like the appeal of the popular Mermaid Trail, which have inspired Wirral residents and tourists alike. But who is Betty? Legend has it that her grandmother, also called Betty, set up home at the garden area that was located there before the promenade arrived. Local residents fed Betty fish dinners and cared for her until one day she swam away and never returned. Carl told the Globe, "We decided to celebrate this wonderful story by introducing the granddaughter to Wirral. I want to thank the park rangers for their invaluable help in putting Betty in her new home. An official unveiling ceremony with the town crier is planned soon." Budding poets get Wilfred Owen Prize.
tsunami triggered by biblical landslides in Norway struck this land and turned low-lying plains into the North Sea before flooding marshlands to the south, creating the English Channel. After the 33 feet high waves had receded, the surviving 5,000 people of the new island realised they were cut off from European mainland by new seas and formed beliefs, cults and ways of life that were different to the old religions and traditional systems of thought that were the norm on the continent. A particular type of British druid evolved that was centred on the worship of the earth goddess, an eco-cult that is ripe for a revival. Something else happened in that hauntingly remote epoch. Somehow, without any knowledge of mathematics and engineering, the inhabitants of early Britain created gigantic burial mounds and erected enormous standing stones, which aligned with other positioned stones miles away. Some of these stones, such as the Rudston monolith, I know where that is. I've been to that actually. That's in East Yorkshire, weigh 26 tons, and we only have to look at Stonehenge to appreciate the skills of the mysterious megalith builders. The stones were aligned with equinoxes and the paths of the sun and moon. They were part of a cult based around the agricultural calendar and the secret skills regarding megalith erection and alignment, as well as other esoteric knowledge, was passed down through the generations. Even after Christianity came to Britain in the 1st century AD, the old ways refused to die, and there are some very ancient cults still with us. In May 1974, more than 50 graves in Bebbington's Town Lane Cemetery were criminally damaged. Mysterious attacks had been on stone crosses, and at first the authorities blamed teenagers. But a stonemason at the cemetery said, had it been just vandals, one would have expected them to destroy flowers and other things. As it is, they have only concentrated on the crosses and nothing else. The attack on the graveyard came a week after a similar vandalising spree over in Ford Cemetery. The attacks continued, and some witnesses said they had seen weird hooded figures in robes reminiscent of those worn by the Ku Klux Klan. Only the hoods had bizarre, exaggerated noses made from cones of fabric stitched onto them. Some witnesses I spoke to on a radio programme, looking into local mysteries, said that the hooded grave desecrators carried swords and huge sledgehammers, which they used to knock down the stone crosses. The hooded defilers also possessed incredible strength, being able to throw some of the granite crosses weighing over 1,000 pounds in weight quite a distance. This almost superhuman ability of the cultists, along with the colour of their costumes, leads me to believe that the Lily White Boys, an ancient sect of druid-like warriors, were behind the desecrations of the cemeteries. They were seen again in September 1982 in the burial smashed beyond repair. At one time, even vandals respected cemeteries. Now they spray swastikas on the graves with aerosol cans. The swastika is an ancient sun symbol, and the lily white boys wear the solar symbol on their outfits because they are a sun-worshipping cult. Sound like maniacs. They often scroll the symbol at the scene of their attacks. The lily white boys have been quiet in recent years, but they are still thought to assemble on Bidston Hill and at Thurston Common near the Thor's Stone landmark. They've allegedly resolved landings on June the 6th, and with so few World War II veterans still with us, it was remarkable that we were able to introduce two extremely sprightly Wirral veterans that were both in the Royal Navy and involved in the D-Day landings. We got talking about a trip he was going on this June with a charity called D-Day Revisited, and told John about another veteran I had met from West Kirby called Matthew Toner. John was keen to talk to Matthew and see if he would like to join them on the final trip to Normandy. They have since met up twice. They also established that their paths have crossed more than once, not only at Normandy, but they had also sailed in the same flotilla off the east coast of America. The ship that John was sailing on had engine failure, and Matthew's ship had been assigned to tow it back to harbour. With so much in common and so much to talk about, a firm friendship has been forged, and Matthew and his granddaughter will now be joining John in June. New app tells of our Viking story. A new app has been launched telling the story of Viking Wirral. The Viking Age in the Northwest is a journey through Wirral's hidden Viking history, exploring sites and place names that remain in use, providing historical facts and revealing the mythology and folklore associated with the peninsula. Dr. Claire Downham, in the University of Liverpool's Institute of Irish Studies, delivered the content for this interactive app, which was developed and designed by the mobile team within the university's Computing Services Department. Dr. Downham, who researches Viking Age history and contact across the Irish Sea in the Middle Ages, said, "I take students on a field trip to Wirral to see Viking Age sculpture, and so I thought an app filled with this information could be a handy tool for other visitors. You can search through the app using a map or by looking up place names. For example, did you know that modern-day Thingwall was the site of the Viking Parliament? I didn't know that. Or that Thor, the god of war, was said to have dropped his hammer, Jolnir, at Thurston. The app also covers archaeological finds such as the Viking Age beach market site at Mells and Art and Culture. Together the app helps tell the story of the Viking settlement and integration in Wirral and the different cultures that have coexisted from there over the centuries. So I think actually what I've done here is I'm actually looking at this at the same time. I don't quite know how I managed to do that. So here is another haunted Wirral by the same guy, Tom Sleeman. Let's have a read of what he has to say this week. Cars last week. Must have been a different date. That was May the 15th, and this one is May 22nd. So I very cleverly combined two newspapers together without realising it. I didn't realise I was quite so clever. Okay, so this one is Welcome to Haunted Wirral, a feature series written by world-famous psychic researcher Tom Sleeman for the Globe. I'm really sorry, Tom, I've never heard of you before, so you can't be that well-famous. No offence. In this latest tale, Tom explores a sad journey into the past. Almost everyone has pondered at one point in their lives on the nature of time. What is it? What happened to all those past days and years? Are they gone forever, or could we somehow revisit them? Time travel is increasingly starting to look more credible. Really? And only recently was one form of time machine actually seen for the first time, a black hole. Well, maybe. Last month, the first ever picture of a black hole was released to the public by astronomers. It is 3 million times the size of the Earth and has a mass 6.5 billion times that of the Sun. Physicists such as Michio Kaku and the late Stephen Hawking have stated that black holes are natural time machines because their gravity field. I have to say, as I was reading down this, I just read that as gravy field. I was just about to say gravy field, that's unusual. But it isn't, it's a gravity field. It's so intense, they would slow down time as you approach them and even stop time altogether. By swinging on certain trajectories around the black hole, you could even go into the future or past. But could there be other ways of travelling into the past and future here on Earth? Gravity waves pass through our planet regularly and cause slight ripples in time. But there have also been many accounts over the years of people finding themselves in the past and future for a brief period. And these episodes are termed time slips. I think this guy's been reading too much science fiction. I've collected hundreds of these intriguing accounts. visit a friend at Holborn Hill, but as Ian reached the junction of Downham Road near Mersey Park, he felt strange. Well, we all feel a bit strange sometimes. Everything seemed to be slowing down, and he felt a weird depression come over him. And then he saw that all of the cars on the road looked vintage, and the pedestrians were dressed in furs and sported long hair. Maybe that's what they were in that area. Ian pulled over and looked about, and he realised that the June sunshine and unbroken blue skies had now been replaced with low grey clouds, and it was noticeably cooler. Well, that happens. He drove off to his friend's house and told him what had happened, and then the incident was eventually forgotten. In early September 1999, Ian was once again travelling up Old Chester Road on his way to his sister's house, and this time the sky was overcast, and minutes into the journey a thin rain started to fall. Ian wore an open visor and was annoyed because the rain was coating his sunglasses. Why is he wearing sunglasses if it's overcast? Strange. Okay. Just before he reached the junction at Downham Road, the skies turned blue in an instant, and once again he saw Ford Cortinas and cars that looked as if they dated back to the 1960s. And he also saw a young and very pretty blonde lady walking along the pavement to his left. He slowed and recognised her. It was Alison, his babysitter from the 1970s. Definitely drinking too much coffee. She turned into Downham Road, and he drove after her, thinking she was some ghost, because she had tragically died from what we now term sudden arrhythmic death syndrome around 1979. The girl looked around nervously when she saw Ian follow her on his motorbike. He shouted her name, and she stood there with a baffled expression. He took off his sunglasses, and she still didn't recognise him. He told her his full name and said, "You used to babysit me," and she said, "I'm only 18, how could I have babysat you?" She must have thought he was a lunatic. She seemed to think it was a joke and stood there perhaps waiting for the punchline. What she heard frightened her. Ian said, "Alison, I told you I loved you when I was 3. I was jealous of your boyfriend, Rob." "Who are you?" she asked, her smile evaporating, and Ian said, "Come with me, Alison. They might be able to fix your heart." Alison ran into her house and came out with her big brother. Ian drove away, and when he reached Old Chester Road, he found himself back in 1999, and he also found himself in tears. Okay. store that's fancy going on a wonderful GB tour coach trips, you can have 5 days in Eastbourne in Sussex. You can go on the Treasures of Northumberland for 5 days. You can have a 5-day trip to Shropshire. You can have a Lake District mini break for £104, I think. 2 days. I presume that must be each person. library, and I took some footage from that library, so hopefully that will appear sometime maybe this week, and I'll do a voiceover for you, because the last library visit seemed to go down very well, the footage and the voiceover, despite the shaky footage. spiced milk, like a floating cheesecake thing. This is my version, without the floating. Same delicious flavours, rich, creamy and lightly spiced and fragrant. Does look nice. So for the cake you will need 10 strands of saffron dropped into 4 tablespoons of warm milk, 250 grams of unsalted butter, 250 grams of caster sugar, 5 medium eggs beaten, 250 grams of self-raising flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. For the milk drizzle, 100 grams of milk powder, 150 ml of boiling water, cardamom seeds removed from the pods and ground. For the buttercream, 2 cardamom pods crushed, 3 tablespoons of whole milk, 300 grams of unsalted butter softened, 600 grams of icing sugar sifted, and to decorate, edible rose petals mixed with 100 grams of roughly chopped pistachios. The method is preheat the oven to 170 degrees Celsius and 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, I don't know why I expected that to be Fahrenheit for some reason. Grease and line 2 20cm sandwich tins. Make the saffron milk. Place the butter and sugar in a bowl and whisk until light and fluffy and almost white. Add the eggs a little at a time, making sure to keep whisking. Then add the flour, baking powder and saffron milk and fold the mixture until you have a smooth, shiny batter. Divide the mixture between the 2 tins and level the tops. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Meanwhile, make the milk drizzle by mixing the milk powder with the boiling water in a bowl. Add the ground cardamom seeds and mix. As soon as the cakes are out of the oven, drizzle some of the milk all over the top of both cakes and leave in the tin for at least 10 minutes before turning them out and removing them to cool on a rack. To make the buttercream, put the crushed cardamom pods in a small bowl of the milk and leave to infuse. Meanwhile, put the butter into a mixing bowl and whisk until very soft and light in colour. Add the icing sugar a little at a time, whisking after each addition until all combined. Then pour the cardamom milk through a sieve into the buttercream and whisk until really light and fluffy. Once the cakes are totally cool, place 1 cake on your serving dish and spread an even layer of buttercream over it. Put the other cake on top. Flip the cake over so this milk drizzled top becomes the bottom and sandwiches the buttercream. Spread some buttercream evenly across the top and the sides and use a ruler to level off the edges. If you have any cream left over, you can pipe little kisses on top. Then gently take the rose petals and pistachios and press these into the bottom edge of the cake. Okay, what have we got over here? this mixture is still in the food processor, gradually add the egg. Add the ground almonds and the coconut, then add the flour. Mix until fully incorporated and store in a piping bag. Place in the refrigerator for a couple of hours to firm up. And the pipe, I think it should be and then pipe, into desired mould and bake at 170 degrees C for 12 minutes. Allow to cool. And that's another then. And then dress with raspberry jam and coconut cream. And this one is Lisa Faulkner's passion fruit key lime pie. This delicious key lime pie with a passion fruit twist will put a spring in your step and a tingle in your taste buds. Sounds like an ASMR cake. A crowd pleaser for any occasion. This light and zesty dessert is an exciting take on a traditional key lime pie. Decorate with fresh lime pieces for a fruity addition. Lisa says, "I love this dessert. It's super quick to make and delicious." Lining the tin with baker foil or tin foil. Non-stick baking paper with its unique dimpled surface ensures the pie lifts straight out of the paper, leaving it looking beautiful. Serves 8 to 10. Preparation time approximately 15 minutes. Cooking time approximately 25 to 30 minutes. For the base, you will need baker foil, although actually I think maybe they're advertising that because, you know, any old tin foil. Non-stick baking paper. 110 grams or 4 ounces of butter. 225 grams or 8 ounces of digestive biscuits. For the filling, juice of 4 limes, pulp of 2 passion fruit, the zest of 3 limes, 3 large egg yolks and 14 ounces of condensed milk. And the method: preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Line the base of a 23cm loose bottom tart tin with baker foil non-stick baking paper or any baking paper. This will ensure the pie won't stick. Place the biscuits in another baker foil product, all-purpose zipper bag, and seal. But you know, any food bag, any little food bag will do. I mean, I don't know, I didn't write the recipe, but you know, I'm using common sense. With a rolling pin, crush the biscuits until you have fine breadcrumbs. Melt butter in a pan. Add the crushed biscuits and mix together. Then press the mixture into the prepared tin. Bake in the oven for 10 minutes. Whisk egg yolks and lime zest together until yolks are pale and thick. Whisk in the condensed milk for a further few minutes. Then whisk in the lime juice. Lastly, add the passion fruit and stir. Pour the mixture into the cooked biscuit base. Bake for 15 to 20 minutes until it is just set. Let the pie cool, then cover and refrigerate until ready to serve. vegetable stock made with 1 stock cube, 4 courgettes trimmed and cut into 4 cm chunks, 100 grams of pitted green olives in brine, drained and halved, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh flat leaf parsley, plus extra to serve, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh coriander, plus extra to serve, 200 grams of couscous, 2 preserved lemons in brine. Where would you even get those from? Drained, halved and finely chopped juice of a half a lemon, calorie controlled cooking spray and 1 large onion thinly sliced. It sounds complicated. Maybe it isn't. Method. Mist a large flame-proof casserole or tagine dish with cooking spray and set over a medium heat. Add the onion and fennel and cook covered for 10 to 12 minutes until soft, then stir in the garlic and all the spices and cook for another minute. Stir in the stock, courgettes and olives and simmer for 5 minutes. Remove and discard the cinnamon stick. Season to taste, then stir in the fresh herbs. Meanwhile, put the couscous and preserved lemons in a large bowl and pour over 250 ml of boiling water from the kettle. Cover with cling film, then set aside for 5 minutes until all the liquid has been absorbed. Fluff up the grains with a fork, then stir through the lemon juice and season to taste. Serve the lemon couscous topped with the tagine and garnished with the extra parsley and coriander and the reserved fennel fronds. Oh, that's what they are. Fronds. The tagine can be frozen in an airtight container for up to 2 months. Wow. Cook's tip. If you can't find preserved lemons, no, I don't think I'd be able to, you can use the finely grated zest of 1 lemon instead. The smart points, whatever they are, will remain the same. Oh no, these look nice. This is oat waffles with mixed berries. These oaty vegan waffles are crisp, fruity and delicious. Smart points value per serving 6. Whatever. Serves 2. Prep time 10 minutes plus standing cooking time 10 minutes. Ingredients: 125 ml of oat milk, 75 grams of porridge oats, 3 small ripe bananas, roughly chopped, you'll need 250 grams, 4 tablespoons of plain soya yogurt, 200 grams of strawberries, whole and quartered, 150 grams of raspberries, 150 grams of blueberries, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. And the method is: put the oat milk, oats and bananas in a food processor and blitz until you have a smooth batter. Leave to stand for 20 minutes. The mixture should be thick but pourable. Preheat a waffle maker according to its settings. Pour in the batter, being careful not to overfill. This mixture is enough to make 2 square waffles. Cook just as delicious. Smart points value per serving 6. Serves 4. Prep time 15 minutes plus resting. Does that mean the food resting or you resting? Could be either. Cook time 20 minutes. Freezable. Ingredients are 400-gram tin of butter beans drained and rinsed, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of clear honey. Hold this like this. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 150 grams of self-raising hour. I think that means flour. Self-raising hour sifted. Sorry, let me get a better grip on this. 150 ml of skimmed milk, calorie-controlled cooking spray, 200 grams or 0% fat natural Greek yogurt, 200 grams of strawberries and strawberries hulled and diced. Method: put the beans and 4 tablespoons of water in the food processor and blitz until completely smooth. Add the eggs, 1 tablespoon of the honey and the vanilla extract, and blitz again until completely combined. Transfer the mixture to a large bowl and add the flour, or the hour, as they put. Gradually add the milk, whisking until you have a smooth batter. Cover and set aside for 15 minutes. Mist a large non-stick frying pan with cooking spray and set over a medium-high heat. Once hot, ladle in 4 scoops of batter to make 4 pancakes about 8 to 9 centimetres in diameter. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes or until bubbles start to appear on the surface. Flip and cook for another 1 minute or until golden. Transfer to a plate and keep warm. You or the plate. Repeat with the remaining batter to make 12 pancakes in total. Combine the yogurt with half a tablespoon of the honey in a small bowl. To serve, stack 3 pancakes per person and top with the yogurt, diced strawberries and the remaining honey. The pancakes can be frozen in an airtight container for 2 months. Cook's tip: this is a vegetarian recipe but could be tweaked to be vegan. is the food and drink issue. So we shall have a look anyway and see what's inside. Might be interesting, might not be. So straight away we have an advert for Jaguar cars, which are quite expensive. So what are the contents? We have, let me see, yeah, seems to be various articles and things. This is a free newspaper that you can pick up at the library. I'm sure you can pick it up at other places. And it seems to be about fashion and art and music, that kind of thing. And there seems to be some book reviews over this side. Nothing interesting at the moment, just lots of adverts. This is called Meet the Makers. This looks like somebody who makes baskets and things. So, might come back to this one. Painted black footwear. This is about, is this fashion? Fashion designers, Emporio Armani. In the Style Archives, a fond look back. Yeah, it's very, very much about fashion. Edinburgh Eats. It's not just London town that knows how to turn a table. We take a quick trip far north to see how things are done up in Old Reekie, which is another name for Edinburgh. Beyond the plate. Champagne, high spirit spotlight. Is this the Champagne review? This is a posh newspaper. This is about coffees from bean to barista. waxes lyrical on the power of flavour, the folly of bar-top tribalism, and the eternal unwavering charm of meat and potatoes. This looks like some recipes. On the grapevine. What's on in October and December? At the Liverpool Philharmonic. Let's see, what do they have? They have on the 2nd of October, Blackfest 2019 Celebration Night. On the 19th of October they have Rising Up Peterloo 2019. 23rd of October, the Liverpool Irish Festival Visible Women. They have the Downton Abbey film on the 30th of October. And then they have 5th of November, Life on Mars, a tribute to David Bowie. And 23rd of November, Elton John, 50 Years of Your Song. Oh, that's nice. 19th of December, Kate Rusby at Christmas. I like Kate Rusby, folk singer. Now this is an article called Architectural Thoughts on Urban Agriculture. And what is he going to do with that spade? This is an article called Championing Quality, British Craftsmanship. Okay, shall we have a read of this? Okay, let's have a read of this. Okay. After spending 20 years working in advertising, Neil Elliott, a creative director who oversaw campaigns for a range of global consumer goods brands, decided to embark on a dramatic change of career. Disillusioned with the advertising industry, in 2018 Neil established Sir Gordon Bennett, an online retailer specialising in the highest quality British products. Fueled by his desire to showcase the best in craftsmanship and innovation, inspired by the German company Manufactum, who dedicate themselves to selling skillfully crafted products made with premium materials, Neil puts a passion for Britain's playground of craftsmanship at the very fore of his concept, allowing makers to tell stories all as diverse as the islands he celebrates. Although the prevailing narrative of today is that Britain's manufacturing industry is in rapid decline, and while a scaling down of industries and economies has certainly taken place in recent years, Britain is still the 9th biggest manufacturing economy in the world, directly employing 2.7 million people. It is precisely this narrative that Neil wanted to promote through the creation of Sir Gordon Bennett, shifting the focus onto the myriad of homegrown heritage brands who excel at creating bespoke, quintessential British craftsmanship products. Take Riston and Riston for example. Their aprons come with a lifetime repair guarantee. They're made better, last longer, and because of this, they don't end up as landfill. Buy once and buy well. You can't say fairer than that. So let's go back to the basket weaving woman over here. I think she was at the beginning. Here we go. So, let me see, this says meet the makers. Let me flatten this out a bit. Anne-Marie O'Sullivan. This month we slow things down a little and spend some quality time with basket maker. Quest, does that say? Scholar and John Smedley, Ambassador. Anne-Marie O'Sullivan. How would you describe your craft? All of my work is based around the ancient craft of basket making. I feel as though I am creating three-dimensional drawings with this beautiful material, willow. What is your favourite part about what you do? I love the slowness and the rhythm of the whole process, and the fact that every day I'm holding something in my hands that I've grown and gathered from the land. It's a very low impact kind of craft. All you really need is a knife and some sticks, and if you haven't got a knife you can use your teeth. Gosh, you don't have strong teeth. How did you begin your career? It has been a slow progression learning the craft. Initially, I learned how to make a range of materials, how to use a range of materials, and over time I is the final piece of the jigsaw. Where did you learn the skills required for your role? I initially studied in London at City Lit for 1 day a week over 5 years. This gave me the basic skills of basket making. Since then, I have spent time working with makers in several countries, including Spain, Italy, Ireland, Portugal and England. Have you had any major pitfalls to overcome to maintain your craft? One of the biggest challenges working with willow is getting the material just right at the time you need it. It takes several days to soak the willow for weaving. A drop in temperature might mean the willow takes several days longer to soak. I have to be able to timetable really well and stick to that so that the material works. Has your craft evolved into other new skills over time? My skill has edged me closer to the gift of patience. It slows me down and often challenges me to readjust my expectations of what I can achieve in a day. How would you describe a day in your role? I start my day with yoga. It feels really necessary to look after my body and warm it up for the day's work ahead. I am always looking ahead to what I am making in the following week, so after yoga and breakfast I sort and soak